Editor review Micro Four Thirds Panasonic Lumix. Quite a lot of change here over the year. I actually used four Lumix cameras during the year. A G80, that's been sold. GX7, that's been sold. GX1, which I still have, and this G6. And this, I've got a bit of a soft spot for Panasonic Lumix. I have to say, this is where my interchangeable lens mirrorless journey began with a G1 many years ago now. And these just things like this G6, they're a really cheap camera, really cheap. It's really small. For the type of camera it is. Does decent video, 1080p. It doesn't have any stabilisation, but obviously there are some stabilised lenses available, and this is one on here. This is my 14-45, which was my first ever Micro Four Thirds lens. And it's actually, for a kit lens, it's still pretty good. And I used this camera, the G6, as just the everyday, pick it up and use it around the house. Use it in the shed, just if I'm photographing stuff to go on eBay, things like that, then this is the camera I pick up because the output is really easy to work with, and it just does a decent job. Also, being a very small camera, it's good for sticking in the backpack and taking cycling, so that's another advantage. I've got some, so here are my top, let's look at the top 10 images. Difficult across all those cameras obviously, but let's take a look and see what the top 10 are like. Starting off with 3 images taken with the GX1. This one is obviously an interior shot at a National Trust property, Polesden Lacey, I think. And it only works well because of, what the kids are up to, I think, really. Getting the most from the GX1 with the Olympus 17mm, the f1.8 version, which I think is generally considered to be a pretty sharp lens. And it's really kind of the colours and the water droplets here. A Bloodshot sunset scene, and this was actually using the scene mode for sunset in the camera, and the 14-140 lens. That Olympus 17mm lens again. This time in the GX7, just a general kind of street shot in Guildford. Street shot in Weston-super-Mare. There's a lot of painting on buildings, which is really quite surprising if you've not been there and seen it. And sometimes, you walk around a corner and see something like the chicken here. Again, the colours kind of partly make this. Another sunset scene on Bloodshot, and this time it is using the sunset mode again and the 14-140 again, but this time with the G6. I think this actually, it's almost the only scene mode I ever use on these cameras. I think it works really well. G6 is pretty handy as a small travel camera, and I think it's plenty sharp with that original 14-45 kit zoom that I think I got that originally on my G1 many years ago. But of the kit lenses, I think it's not, for a cheap lens, it's not bad at all. Similar type thing, I guess. Monochrome, angles, etc. Could spend all day at a structure like the pier there in Weston. Or on the beach, come to that matter, if the light's good. There are some changes planned I've got some changes planned for this setup for 2025. One is, I do miss the GX7 just for its kind of size and shape. And I do miss the G80 for some of the video features it had. So we're moving to a GX80, which will bring back some of those video features from the G80 that were missing, and along with the kind of form factor of the GX7. So that's one change that's planned for 2025. And also I'm going to look at the Panasonic Leica lenses that I don't have. So I already have the 15mm, but I want to have a look at the 42.5 and possibly the 25mm as well. So yeah, might do that, funds allowing, in 2025.